single pick I have, so just, you can live vicariously through me on this. All right, at number 5, Steph Curry. All right, now I know a lot of people out there are saying, number 5, why is he so low? Folks, this is actually a compliment to how great of a year Steph had. I can't remember the last time I had someone who was an 8th seed on my MVP ballot, but he was that good. But winning matters. All right, as an 8th seed, you're not going to win the MVP or be that high in the rankings, but tremendous year. He silenced all the doubters, all those who said he's not transcendent, all those who said he's overrated. He proved he's the best small player of all time, best shooter of all time. And get this, 7 games this year with 10 or more three-pointers. No other player in NBA history has more than 5 such games in their career. Steph Curry, number 5. At number 4, Joel Embiid. Look, Joel Embiid may have very well been the MVP had he played more games. He missed 21 of 72 games. I'm sorry. And there's no league in which you can be the MVP and miss 30% of the season, okay? He was tremendous, though. He led Philadelphia to the number 1 seed. Gets it done on both ends, obviously. Showed that he is not just one of the best mid-range shooters for a big man. He is one of the best mid-range shooters in the entire NBA. He posts up as well more than any other player in the league, usually getting fouled. So he led the league in free throw percentage. And again, is one of the best defenders in the league. Put himself in the conversation for best player in the world. We'll see what he does in the playoffs. At number 3. Chris Paul, 16 points, 8 assists. Not eye-popping numbers, but the impact, the leadership, the intangibles, the poise, that was eye-popping. He led Phoenix in his first year from a 10th seed in the West to the 2nd best record in the NBA. This will be the 5th time he should finish in the top 5. First time since 2013. Not bad for a 36-year-old. At number 2. There it is, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the 2-time defending champion. Great numbers once again, great defense once again. Actually added to his game. Now has played more in the mid-post this season, which I like. That could help them in the playoffs. Giannis was tremendous. Didn't win the MVP, though, even though his numbers are big, because his team had the 7th best record in the league. 7th. 3rd in the East, not the 1st best record in the league like they did the last 2 years when he won it, but great season by Giannis. And the winner of this year's MVP award on my ballot, and I believe he's going to win going away. It'll be like last year where Giannis won in a landslide. Jokic will win in a landslide. 28, 11, 8 assists, that's more than just about every point guard in the league, has invented the point center position. Led Denver to a 16-8 record without their 2nd best player, Jamal Murray. 3rd best record in the Western Conference. PER of 31.3, that's number 1 in the league. It's the 10th best PER for a season ever. He's only the 2nd center joining Wilt Chamberlain to ever have a player efficiency rating higher than 31. Kareem didn't do it. Shaq didn't do it. Olajuwon, Robinson, none of them. Nikola Jokic, folks, is your MVP. Nick, you can applaud now.
I will applaud. I think Broussard did a great job. And here's the thing. So, I don't, if we have any college students or watching, Broussard did a very smart thing, which is you look at the source material and you're like, oh, this is all exactly right, but I can't plagiarize it, so let me just move some words around. Because that's my ballot too. It's just all in a different order. So like you got the 5 names right, just somehow we actually have all 5 guys in a different spot, but I don't have a big issue with it. I am very happy that you, unlike many of the other ballots that I've seen come public, are giving Chris Paul his respect. I understand that my opinion that Chris Paul's the league MVP is a drastic minority one. I don't expect him to win, obviously. What I've been disappointed by is how many people have these four that you have plus Dame or Luka or Julius Randle on there and no Chris Paul. And that's no shade to Dame or Luka or Julius Randle or LeBron will probably end up on some ballots as a fourth or fifth. But having Chris Paul in the top three makes me happy. And the fact that you didn't hold Giannis's last two seasons against him the way a lot of people did, to me makes me happy. Because his numbers say he should also be, at the very least, in the top five. Here's my only question for you, Broussard, on this. Now that we know the Nuggets didn't draw the Lakers, I feel like for Jokic to validate this MVP season, they have to, at the very least, beat the Portland Trailblazers in round one. Vegas has it as a pick'em series. I understand that they don't have Jamal Murray, but even without Jamal Murray, supporting cast to me, Dame and Jokic take them out very similar with the way Michael Porter Jr. is playing. Do you agree with me that for Jokic, it is incumbent upon him to, through hell or high water, at least get out of round one, since they didn't end up with the Lakers, which would have been a kind of unfair to judge anyone because the Lakers had the odd season?
It'll look bad, as it does for any MVP that goes out in the first year. Of course, we remember Dirk doing it when he won his MVP award. They lost to Golden State in round one. It looked bad, and the only way he really came back from that was to win that championship in 2011. So it'll look bad, but I don't think it invalidates it because, again, especially the voters, we understand this is a regular season award. It's not about what we project to happen in the playoffs, what happened last year in the playoffs. Obviously, you're human, so sometimes those emotions come in. But for the most part, it is about the regular season. So I don't think it will invalidate Jokic as the legitimate MVP. And I'm going to say this, Nick, because you brought up a week or two ago, we talked about it. Would Jokic be the worst MVP since Dave Cowens back in the mid-'70s?
Yeah.
I can't remember, 73, I think.
Yeah,
I think Jokic is better than Steve Nash. He's better than Steve Nash. And I think, obviously, he's better than Derrick Rose because Rose got injured and became a different type of player. And I actually think Jokic is better than Dirk Nowitzki. Now, he's going to have to win a championship to prove it. But I do think he overall is a better player than Dirk Nowitzki. Yes, I said it.
You know,
that's an hour-long radio show. Whew, we can do that another time. Go ahead, LeVar.
Wow.
You just really upset me. You just really made me mad.
You were happy. You're like a Sour Patch Kid right now, Nick. You were happy and now you're sad.
He knows I'm right.
Hey, I
can't believe you just said that.
I know LeVar's MVP is Rudy Gobert. He loves the Utah Jazz.
I generally give you a hard time, master, deflector, qualifier. But you know what here, Chris? I think you got it right except for one thing. I think Joel Embiid should be in that second slot. Move the rest of them back one slot and replace it with Joel Embiid. And the reason being is, well, they're the number one seed. They have the number one record, best record. And when I look at the records in terms of wins and losses, without Joel Embiid, this team is under 500. Did you know that they went 10 wins and 11 losses without him? Which means that if they win games with him and they're the number one team, they won 39 games and lost 12 games with him. And by the way, when he came back from that 30% of time missing because of the injury, they went 9-1 out of 10 games. I just look at what Joel Embiid's impact has been for this 76ers team and how much of a competitive team they are now with him playing at the level he's playing at. The numbers are too comparable with Jokic, with Giannis, and with Embiid to sit there and say that there's this amazing gap in terms of statistical categories that would justify Embiid just because of injury not being closer to being that MVP this year. So outside of him being in that number two slot, Wilds, I think I'd be okay with this 5 list that Chris has put together.
I'm okay with it, Broussard. I think you did a wonderful job. The question I have for you is this, Broussard. Do you think Joker is at risk of having a yeah, but MVP award? So when you look back at MVPs throughout the years, it's like Karl Malone's like, yeah, but that was really Jordan's. We just got tired. And like Barkley, like, yeah, but that kind of was Jordan's. Or like, yeah, but that should have been Kobe's. Do you think because of the battlefield promotions of guys going down, no Harden, no KD, no LeBron, that this is at risk of being like a yeah, but MVP with the condensed season post-pandemic, post-bubble?
Yes, I really do. And especially to Nick's point, if they go out in the first round to Portland, it'll definitely be that. There's no question about it. If Harden had played 60-something games, I think he may have been ahead of Jokic. At least on my ballot, some people would have held the way he left Houston against him. Obviously, Embiid probably would have been ahead of Jokic. I'm actually going to say he definitely would have been ahead of Jokic had he played 62 or more games because Philadelphia had the #1 seed. And, of course, if LeBron had stayed healthy, who knows where that would have been. So this is somewhat a war of attrition. Look, he played all 72 games. He's the only player on this team to play all 72. I'm talking about Jokic. And